In this video, I'll be discussing the irrelevancy of our modern worldwide political systems and where we could be heading to solve human problems. The majority of so-called elected politicians today are seen through the eyes of an ideology called democracy. Legitimacy is supposedly given to a government by the people to hold the authority to govern. But just what are governments governing? And what are their decision-making processes? What we have to remember is that modern social conditioning makes us feel that politics is all we have to sort out problems in the world. Now, politicians who are most notably heavily mediated are very quick to brand problems with the word political. We see this word being used all the time to try and sum up problems. We call them political problems, and they are to be resolved via political means, as this seems to be the only type of capable governance on offer. If we hold ourselves to this mind-lock mentality, how are we to ever expand upon our problem-solving capabilities? In summary, if a problem is tainted with the word political, the public feel that they are to allow the politicians to step in and assist. What we must realise is that most problems in the world today are of a technical construct, thus meaning that technical problems would require a technical solution, and we attribute technical analysis to science and utilising the scientific method. For example, the emergent fields of neuroscience and psychology offer technical approaches to human behaviour. After all, politicians at the moment govern the way we act and think with our brains and set up an established preconditioned environment for us to live in. And politicians do not have the knowledge associated with psychology and neuroscience, so they can't understand how human behaviour functions and operates, and how we react to certain stimuli in our environments, because most of them come from legal or financial backgrounds which offer zero in the way of technical problem solving and understanding the human mind.
So let us start.
Politicians simply play a guessing game based on assumptions most of the time, which is not an efficient method to adopt. Their judgments can become clouded by many interrelating factors such as financial or monetary related corruption from lobbyists. And just as an example, we've had the recent MP's expenses scandal in the UK. This sort of problem should be expected as the current monetary social system sets this up. Politicians generally aim to patch up common, reoccurring problems, and they wonder why crime is still prevalent in society. Instead of understanding, for example, how that person has been conditioned by their environment to carry out their criminal acts against society, they choose to lock them up and forget about the whole situation. On the question of how do we govern society, there is a viable solution which maximises practicality, efficiency, and is used for the benefit of the public as a whole. It can deliver the best decisions we know of using today's current technologies and problem-solving methods. Now, this statement alone might sound too generalised, so I will accompany this with a useful analogy. Let's say we have a group of people who share a plot of land, and on that land, the group all choose to plant an apple tree. The decisions they would like to conclude is where they position the tree on the plot of land. If all the people are spread out, perhaps it won't seem fair if one person has the new apple tree growing near to their own home. Others may see this as a greedy, self-interested act. You can have all sorts of varying opinions on where the tree should be positioned, all completely subjective and loaded with emotional responses, but we can adopt a scientific approach to this problem. The scientific method can deliver the best results on, for example, the pH levels of certain areas of soil on the plot of land, where the best areas of sunlight are found to encourage higher rates of photosynthesis, and we can also produce measurements of the nutrient levels in certain areas of the soil. All of these attributes are derived from the scientific method if used for social concern. We can apply this decision-making method on a societal level. There's no reason as to why this couldn't be maximised further. The main concern is not over who makes the decisions. The question should really be, how are we arriving at those decisions? And if we utilise science to support the best and most optimised findings and decisions, what reasons would you have to argue against such a methodology? Thinking along these lines in future will surely show how primitive, subjective and inefficient the established political system really is. It's time we outgrow this current method of thinking, where we rely upon the advice and guidance of groups of people who cannot deliver empirical, objective decisions to improve the social environment around us. We can achieve a lot more if we arrive at decisions by utilising science and applying it with a social imperative in mind. And this direction is already being supported worldwide.